This conflict of interest. You only here to make money, man. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no crime.
Wait a minute.
Ain't no
I'm
victim
not
or
your
no loss,
man.
bro.
I'm not your, listen,
Hey,
listen, I'm
hey,
not your
look,
man.
look, look,
I'm
look,
not
sir.
your, oh, ain't your
Hey,
bro.
sir. Hey, sir.
Okay?
Respectfully, you're an Article 1 judge under the Commerce Clause. You've been on the bench since what, 21? Couple years? You need to talk to somebody.
I'm not your bro. I'm not your man. And I'm not to be interrupted when I'm speaking. I gave you the respect and the right to speak. Just because you're unsatisfied with the way that I ruled, then that's not my problem.
All right, folks, buckle up because today's courtroom drama is seriously off the charts. We're stepping into the legal ring with Judge Perkins facing off against a self-proclaimed sovereign citizen who claims he missed his court hearing because he was locked out of Zoom. Yes, you heard that? Right, he's blaming a virtual door for his no-show. But Judge Perkins wasn't having any of it. With zero patience for excuses, she swiftly denied his motion, putting an end to his week. Defense before it even got started. And let's just say things went downhill fast from there, the moment reality hit. This so-called sovereign citizen completely unraveled in front of everyone. Now, missing a court date is no small matter. But showing up late and acting like you're above the rules? That's a fast track to getting scorched. In court, smug attitude only fanned the flames, and Judge Perkins brought the full force of courtroom order down on him. So what do you think, legit excuse or just another delay tactic? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And let's break down this fiery exchange that proves once again judges don't play games. Especially not with Zoom warriors.
Excuse me, sir. I heard you say that you only read the first couple lines. Is there any way we could possibly take another case until you get the chance to read the entire thing? It's only
No,
2 pages.
I'm not going to read this entire thing today.
It's only like 3 paragraphs, the entire thing. The rest are just case sightings.
All right, I'm gonna deny the motion. I will set the matter for.
Is there any way I can get a written? Can I get a written articulation as to why you're denying the motion?
I'm denying the motion because
I would just appreciate a written excuse. Can I get a written articulation?
I might give it to you in writing.
Are we on record? Are we on record?
We're on record.
Okay. Is this court bound by the U.S. Constitution and Supreme Court rulings?
Yes.
Okay, you were denying my motion when I said that I had Fourth Amendment violations, and you're saying that you're denying my motion without looking into it or granting me a hearing to go over my motion, or give me an articulation as to why, a written excuse as to why. I want to make sure that that's what you're saying to me.
You're asking for a change of venue. I'm denying.
I'm saying that I know there's a motion for dismissal, and I'm saying that you, as an Article 1 judge under the Commerce Clause, if you're not going to uphold my due process and my Fourth Amendment, I'm saying that maybe we could change venues where I could get a real judge.
Okay, I'm denying a motion to dismiss. Okay, I'll set a trial date for you so you can be heard on that type of form.
I insist that the court give me a written excuse as to why you're denying my motion, so I could take that to the tenor. Okay.
Well, you can insist all you want to.
Okay, I appreciate that, but I'm telling you, you're telling me today why you're not going to look into it or give me a hearing, as so I can go over the evidence that I have to present to go with my motion. You don't want to do any of that, so I'm just asking that you can give me a written excuse that I could go take and complain against you on, because that's violating my due process. You didn't even give me the chance to say we're going to schedule a evidentiary hearing or something like that. You're going to sit up here and disregard that when I made genuine claims and put genuine evidence in there. Overwhelming.
Honestly, it's hard to tell if this guy genuinely believes the nonsense he's spouting or if he's just pretending not to get it. What do you think? Is he delusional or just dodging responsibility? Let's not forget his latest move. Trying to switch judges just because Judge Perkins denied his motion? Like, really? That's not how the legal system works. Here's a reality check: judges aren't obligated to hand out written explanations every time they shut down a meritless motion, especially when that motion is built on pure fantasy with zero legal footing. Yet he's acting like it was some grand injustice. Judge Perkins said no. And suddenly he's emotionally shattered like a toddler being told they can't have candy. You can see it all over him. This man has probably gone through life without ever facing serious consequences. Now that someone's finally holding him accountable, he's throwing a full-blown fit in court. And these sovereign citizen antics, they're becoming more ridiculous by the day. It's like a trend that refuses to die. What really blows my mind is how this behavior keeps spreading. You'd think after seeing how every one of these courtroom stunts backfires, usually costing them more in fines or legal trouble, people would get the hint. But no, the delusion is strong. Anyway, let's jump back in and watch how this mess unfolds next.
So at the end of the day, like I said, there's no crime. This is a fraudulent charge. There's no suspect. Y'all suspect me for no crime. There's no victim, no losses. Okay? And in a minute, it's going to be malicious prosecution. So I'm asking you to dismiss this charge or change the venue. And if you refuse to do that, I'm asking you for a written excuse so I can take it to the tenor, sir. That's what I'm telling you. Because if not, I'm going to go to the tenor without it and let them know that you refuse to give me a written excuse and you refuse to give me an evidentiary hearing, but you just straight denied it. When you just 5 minutes ago, you said you didn't even read it. Now you just denied it. That's conflict of interest. That's bias. That's all that. So let's put it all on record. If you feel just as strongly as you feel, give me a written excuse. If not, let's change venue. Because you're Article 1 judge under the Commerce Clause. This conflict of interest, you only here to make money, man. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no crime. Ain't no victim or no loss, bro.
Listen, I'm not your man.
Look, sir. Hey, sir, respectfully, you're an Article 1 judge under the Commerce Clause. You've been on the bench since what, 21? Couple years? You need to talk to somebody. I'm asking you to give me an evidentiary hearing to go over my motion for dismissal with the overwhelming evidence or change venue. Because if not, I'm going straight to the tenor right after this. And that's on you, sir. You had this. You did this.
Oh, all right. Now I'll let you speak.
Straight like that.
No, that's all we need. I don't want to hear any more.
All right, cool. It's cool. I appreciate it. This is a due process violation. This is a due process violation right now. And the way y'all tried to railroad me when I was ready to argue my trial. I told you I was here to argue my trial. Y'all locked me out. Now you're trying to start the process over. They're not prepared to present a case. I'm telling you. They're not prepared to present an injured party. So what we doing?
Listen. Please do not say any more. You've already made your record. I've given you that opportunity. If you continue on, especially interrupting me while I'm talking, because I didn't interrupt you while you were talking. I'm not your bro, I'm not your man, and I'm not to be interrupted when I'm speaking. I gave you the respect and the right to speak. Just because you're unsatisfied with the way that I ruled, then that's not my problem. You take whatever people, wait a minute, let me say it. You take whatever recourse that you feel that is necessary. Now, what I can do, Mr. Lewis, is I can set you a jury trial date. And at that jury trial date, you will have an opportunity to represent yourself or do whatever you want to do and put all your proofs on the record by a jury of your peers, and you can argue it that way, okay?
At this point, I honestly don't get how this guy hasn't been hit with a contempt charge. Like, what's Judge Perkins waiting for? The patience she's showing is impressive, but if I were in that seat, the gavel would have been slammed down already. This guy is openly disrespecting the court and somehow still being given room to talk. Zoom court hearings are a different beast altogether. There's something about sitting behind a screen that gives these defendants a sudden burst of courage, like courtroom bravery downloaded through Wi-Fi. They get way too bold, running their mouths like they're untouchable. And when they start ranting, it's almost impossible to cut them off. You can't just bark an order or have a bailiff escort them out, because they're basically untouchable in their little digital bubbles. It honestly creates a messy situation for judges. And I have to ask, why are we still doing Zoom court? In 2024, COVID's no longer the issue, right? These virtual hearings make it way too easy for people to treat court like a casual live stream. If this clown had been standing in front of Judge Perkins in person, I guarantee he wouldn't have pulled even half of these stunts. But that's just my take. What do you all think? Are Zoom court hearings doing more harm than good now? Genuinely curious because this format just doesn't feel as serious anymore. Anyway, let's jump back in and see how this chaos unfolds next.
I appreciate that, but I would still like a written.
You order the transcript. You order the transcript. It's in the transcript.
I can't even get the court reporter to respond to my voice messages or you to respond to my emails, sir.
The court reporter is not going to respond to your voice message. The court reporter is going to respond to you coming
The 36th
down.
district told me to call her today, that I was locked out of my trial date. I had a scheduled trial. The court told me to call her that day, and I called her that day, and she still hasn't responded. So I'm trying to see if the court that you work for is trying to tell me how the appropriate channels, and then y'all doing it different in y'all court. What am I to do?
I think you're talking about the court clerk and not the court reporter. There's a distinct.
Yeah, I was told to call the clerk the day that I was locked out. The moment I was locked out.
We've moved past that getting locked out.
But that was my trial date.
Yeah, so I'm giving you
another. How soon can I get another trial date, sir? How soon can I get another trial date? That's what I'm asking.
That's what we're trying to do now. A jury trial. A jury trial. I'm gonna let the jury of his peers hear what he has to say. July 23rd. 2024 at 9 a.m.
July 23rd?
Yeah, 2024 at 9 a.m. We'll have a final pretrial the day before.
Why would we need a final pretrial? Why would we need a final pretrial?
Because I said I wanted one.
But that's how you protecting your interest. You protecting your interest and you're going to dismiss it on that day. So you're trying to play with me. You could dismiss it today, sir. You literally violating my due process. You are literally violating my due process. You can't even give me a written excuse, but you're going to all this whole.
Mr. Lewis, I know you don't want counsel, but is it possible we could talk in a breakout?
Excuse me, ma'am. I do. Excuse me, ma'am. I am in pro se. I'm in pro se.
Go wherever you want to. Final pretrial of July 22nd. I am. Is going to be July 23rd. All the parties must appear on the final pretrial date, and the jury, and that can be on Zoom. And the next day, the jury trial date is in person. Have a very good day, Mr. Green. Best of luck to you.
That's not my name.
This upcoming jury trial. Oh man, it's shaping up to be an absolute disaster for our favorite sovereign citizen. If you thought today's hearing was chaotic, just wait until there's a full panel of jurors watching him pull the same stunts. I'm genuinely excited to see how it all plays out. And hey, if enough of you want to see that madness unfold, let me know in the comments and I'll absolutely post the next episode in the coming days. But for real, what did you think of this hearing? Because from where I'm sitting, it's kind of wild how much this guy got away with. He completely talked over the judge, showed no respect, and walked out without any real consequences. It felt like a mini win for him, even though he had no case. How is it that someone can backtalk a judge like that and not get held in contempt? Like, where's the accountability? Honestly, it seems like these Zoom courtrooms are changing the tone of how justice is handled. The formality, the respect, all feels watered down. Back in an in-person courtroom, this guy wouldn't have dared act like that. But through a screen, it's like the rules just don't hit the same. Personally, I think Judge Perkins should have drawn the line and sent a clear message. That wraps up today's breakdown, folks. If you enjoy these deep dives into real courtroom drama, make sure to drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and let me know what kind of cases you want covered next. Your support means everything, and I appreciate you all tuning in. Until next time, stay sharp, stay curious, and take care.